The Patriots in the last two seasons have been one of the worst teams in the NFL, as in both 2023 and 2024, they went 4-13 and finished dead last in the AFC East. But it feels like damn near every year there's always some team that goes from one of the worst in the NFL to one of the best, like the Commanders this past year, the Texans in 2023, and the Jaguars in 2022. And I might be a little bit biased as a Patriots fan, but I think they had a tremendous offseason, and in 2025, they might just be that worst to first team. So in today's video, let's break down if the Patriots can make that leap from being absolute garbage to really good. Now before we do get things started, I do want to say, please go ahead and hit the like button if you guys end up enjoying the video, since it really does help out the channel. And of course, make sure to subscribe as well, that if you guys enjoy videos like this, that way you don't miss out on any new content like the one you're watching right now. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get things started. Now I'm going to start off by talking about the Patriots defense, and they were not very good this past season. They were 22nd in team defense, 23rd in run defense, 22nd in points per game, 27th in third down defense, 25th in red zone percentage, 26th in points per drive, and they ranked pretty low in a lot of efficiency stats like EPA per play, success rate, etc. Now to be fair to them, Christian Barmore, he did miss pretty much all of last season, and Jabril Peppers also missed a good portion of last year, and I do think that the offense being so ineffective didn't help either, because the defense, they'd have to go out onto the field constantly, leading to them being fatigued, and that definitely affected their performance. But regardless, the Patriots defense, it was not very good in 2024, but despite this poor performance, New England already had some talent on that side of the ball. Christian Gonzalez is already one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Christian Barmore, is, when healthy, is one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. Jabril Peppers is a really good safety, and Keon White is a really good edge rusher. But in free agency, the Patriots really improved this unit, as they added guys like Milton Williams, Harold Landry, who, okay, they did overpay for, but he's not terrible, Robert Spillane, and they also signed Carlton Davis. The Patriots also did draft some steals in guys like Joshua Farmer and Braden Swinson, as they selected the two in the 4th and 5th round respectively, and both of them were projected to go higher than that. Now Joshua Farmer and Braden Swinson, they are projects, and I think they're going to start off as mostly just good depth pieces, but I do think with some good development, they could be nice starters. I also do want to talk about Kyle Duggar real quick, because last season he was not very good, and some Patriots fans, they think he is overrated, and I do understand where they are coming from, because his coverage, it's not that good, and like I said before, he did not play well in 2024. But with that said, I'm not going to 100% give up on him, because he has shown that he can be a solid player. And I do think that as long as the coaching is better, the Patriots defense should be one of the best units in the league. I mean, they got a pretty good front seven, and they also got a really good secondary. And I do think the Patriots defense should be a top 10 unit in 2025. Let's now talk about the Patriots offense, and as I kind of alluded to earlier, they were absolutely putrid on that side of the ball last season. They ranked 30th in team offense, 32nd in passing offense, dead last, 30th in points per game, 29th in third down percentage, 29th in red zone percentage, 30th in points per drive, and they did not rank well in most efficiency stats, and overall, they just lacked talent on that side of the ball. I mean, their offensive line was absolute dog shit, to say the least, as their only good offensive lineman was Michael Onwenu, while everyone else, they were pretty trash, and as a whole, they had the second lowest pass block win rate and the worst run block win rate according to ESPN. Their weapons were also pretty bad, as Hunter Henry, he's a pretty good tight end, and even Austin Hooper was a good tight end too, but their wide receiving core was really bad. Demario Douglas, he's decent, and even Kayshon Boutte was pretty solid last season, but neither of them are wide receiver ones, and Kendrick Bourne, he wasn't amazing coming off an ACL tear last year, and Jalen Polk, he had an absolutely horrific rookie year. And as far as their running backs go, Ramondre Stevenson, he was fine, but he wasn't exactly amazing, as he did struggle with ball security, and he only averaged 3.9 yards an attempt. But to be fair to him, his offensive line, as I mentioned before, was absolute ass, especially when it came to run blocking. But the Patriots really improved their offense, in the offseason this year. They signed Morgan Moses in free agency, and they drafted Will Campbell in the first round of this past year's NFL draft, and they drafted Jared Wilson in the 3rd round of the 2025 NFL Draft, and I liked him a lot coming out of Georgia, and I'm not sure how much playing time Jared Wilson gets in his rookie year, but I do think that he can be a pretty good player if given the opportunity. And the Patriots offensive line, look, I don't expect them to be an elite unit or anything like that, but I do believe that with the additions they made, they can at least be a kind of respectable offensive line. The Patriots also bolstered their wide receiving core by adding Stephon Diggs in free agency. They drafted Kyle Williams out of Washington State in this past year's draft, and they signed Mack Hollins in free agency. And Mack Hollins, he's no world beater, but he's a fine depth receiver. And I know some people are low on the Stephon Diggs signing, and I'll admit, I don't think he's in his prime anymore, and I understand that he is coming off an ACL tear at 31 years old, but it does seem like his rehab is going well, and he was really good for the Texans in 2024 before his injury. And while I don't think he will be an elite wide receiver 1 like he was in the past, I do think that he can be a low-end wide receiver 1, and I think he will be a big boost to this Patriots offense. Along with that, New England did draft Travion Henderson in the 2nd round of this past year's NFL Draft, and he was one of the best running backs in this class. Now, he's not super big, but he is really fast and explosive, and he's a pretty good receiving back, and he does have really good vision, and I do think that he can form a really nice running back duo with Ramondre Stevenson in 2025. The Patriots also did hire Josh McDaniels to return as offensive coordinator of the team, and I know Josh McDaniels is not a very good head coach, but as an offensive coordinator, I think he is pretty solid. And this new supporting cast, kind of like I said about their offensive line, it's not elite by any means, but it's not horrible either, and it is way better compared to the last 2 seasons. And how good the Patriots offense is really hinges on how well Drake Maye plays. Drake Maye played 13 games last year, tossing 2,276 passing yards, 15 touchdowns, and 10 picks while running for 421 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also did have 14 big-time throws according to PFF, but he also did have 16 turnover-worthy plays, and he also did have below-average efficiency stats. But honestly, I thought he played well when you consider how bad his situation was, and he was a lot better than his numbers indicated, if you ask me. Drake Maye has a super high ceiling, and now that he has more experience and a much better supporting cast, I think he is going to take a leap next season and establish himself as a top 10 to 15 quarterback in the league. Some people might think that I'm being a delusional Patriots fan, but like I said before, his ceiling, it's really high due to his physical tools, and considering the fact that he wasn't even that bad with maybe the worst supporting cast in the NFL last season, it's not impossible for him to take that kind of leap in 2025. And I don't expect the Patriots offense to be elite, but I do think they will be an average to about above average unit. Now, going back a little bit to coaching, New England also did hire Mike Vrabel as their head coach in the offseason, and I really like this hire. Now, I know some people are skeptical because he's not an offensive mind or play caller or anything like that, and he's way more of like a CEO type head coach and is more defensive minded, and his last 2 years in Tennessee weren't that good. And I definitely understand the want to hire someone like Ben Johnson or Liam Cohen or any of the new offensive minds that were available. And in fact, I kind of wanted those guys as well. But Mike Vrabel, again, I like that hire, and he is not a bad head coach at all. He's a really good leader, and he's also a really good culture builder. And along with that, he is a stable, proven head coach, which is kind of nice to have after, seeing how the Drake Maye experiment unfolded last year. Mike Vrabel is also really good at elevating teams' floors, and I think he'll do just that with this Patriots team. And I think he's going to do a much better job of having this team being disciplined and having them better coached. And those are 2 massive issues in 2024. And as far as his last 2 years with the Titans go, they weren't great, but you have to understand they were lacking in talent, especially after the A.J. Brown trade, which is something Mike Vrabel was not responsible for, and in fact, he did not like the A.J. Brown trade at all. Is Mike Vrabel an elite coach? No, he's not, but he is a good head coach, and while I don't think he's going to elevate this team into being like a 14-win Super Bowl contender or anything like that, I do think he will elevate this team's floor, by a lot. Now, taking a look at the Patriots' schedule, they play in the AFC East, and when it comes to their divisional games, I think they'll win 2 to 3 of them. They then play the AFC North this year, and I think they're going to win 1 to 3 of those games. They also play the NFC South, and I think they're going to win 2 to 3 of those NFC South games. And then their last 3 games come against the Giants, Raiders, and Titans, and I think they're going to win 2 of those games. And if you ask me, the Patriots have a relatively high floor of 7 wins, and if everything does go right, I think they can win as much as like 11 games. The AFC, it is really loaded, and they do have the Bills in their division, but they definitely can make the playoffs, and in my opinion, they are going to take a big leap in 2025, as pretty much everything about this team is better. They have much better top-end talent compared to the last 2 years. I think their offense is going to be way better. I think their defense is going to be way better. I think their coaching staff is going to be way better. And I think Drake Maye is going to take a pretty big leap in 2025. And all of that should result in a pretty good season, from the Patriots. In my honest opinion, I think they're going to win about 9 games. But let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. It really does mean a lot to me. Again, make sure you guys like and subscribe, and check me out on social media. The links to my Twitter and Instagram are in the description below. But without further ado, I'm out, you guys.